Welcome to the Mountain Man Medical YouTube channel. My name is Doc, and thanks for being here. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the reason why people die, not the actions that led up to their death or what could have been done to prevent them from dying, but what is going on in someone's body when they receive a life-threatening injury. I've been through a lot of different EMS courses, and this is something I eventually had to put together myself. And once I figured it out, it kind of helped me get my head around what is going on with the casualties I was taking care of. And it helped me kind of better read and anticipate what the casualties' needs were going to be. And it might seem like kind of a common sense thing if you're a medic already, but for some reason, this just didn't really occur to me until like late on in my career. So once I figured that out, it just kind of helped me to better understand what to do and how to do it and what things to kind of pay attention to. And it also kind of helped to simplify things a little bit. You know, we don't always, you know the information, but you don't really put two and two together until you get a little bit of experience. And this is one of those types of situations. All right, so here it is. People die because they don't have oxygen. Pretty simple, right? Nothing mind-blowing, nothing complicated. Just about every time a person dies, it's because they have an insufficient supply of O2 for some reason. Are they bleeding badly? They die because they don't have enough blood in their bodies to transport oxygen to the vital tissues. Heart attack, O2-rich blood is not being pumped around the body. Brain injury, the brain is not sending the right signals to the body or any signals at all to regulate the intake of oxygen, and they die. So try to think of an injury, a disease, anything that you can come up with, and the odds are good that the underlying problem and the reason why they're in danger is because there is an interruption somewhere in their ability to take in enough oxygen. This is especially true when thinking outside or inside the lines of emergency medicine. If we know that the transportation of oxygen is the most important thing to keep someone alive, it will help us to better anticipate the casualty's needs and let us be more proactive in their care. Okay, so here is some very basic human anatomy. When we breathe in, oxygen enters our lungs, is transferred to our blood, oxygenating it. The heart then pumps that blood through the arteries around the body to all the tissues and vital organs, which is called perfusion. This oxygenated blood is bright red in color. The blood deposits oxygen to the tissues and picks up carbon dioxide, or CO2, and returns to the heart where it's transferred to the lungs, and the CO2 is expelled on expiration. That CO2-rich blood is a dark red or maybe even a dark purple in color. A lot of times I see people talking about how to treat injuries, but I rarely see anyone talking about why we are treating them in the first place. If we know the reason why they are in danger, that they are not getting enough oxygen for some reason, then we can focus our attention on the body systems that are involved with oxygenating the body, and we can think outside the box if we're stuck on what to do next. Getting stuck on what to do next or even what to do first has been the hardest roadblock for me to get around as I was learning about trauma medicine. In an emergency, it's easy to get rattled, and the seriousness of the situation can make a lot of people freeze up and waste valuable time while they're trying to decide where to begin. Memorizing the March algorithm is a good way to remember where to start first. This is a way of prioritizing the injuries so we aren't focusing on the wrong injury to begin with. March is spelled M-A-R-C-H. M, massive bleeding. So we already talked a little bit about this one. If the casualty doesn't have enough blood in their body, oxygen isn't getting where it needs to go. This is first in the steps because it's the thing that will kill your casualty the fastest, and it's the easiest to treat quickly if you have the right equipment available, like a tourniquet. A is airway. If they aren't able to take in enough oxygen because their airway is closed up because of swelling, trauma, or for any other reason, they die. Even if the casualty has enough blood in their body, it doesn't matter, it's not being oxygenated. R is respirations, which just means breathing. In a similar issue to the airway problem, the blood is not being oxygenated. And we know that breathing is important, so we can look for ways to make it easier for our casualty to breathe. If they need to change positions to breathe easier, we let them. If they are conscious and want to sit up, you should let them do that unless it would expose them to some sort of danger. Say they've received a penetrating wound to their chest so that one lung is affected and isn't working right. Should we roll them onto that injured side so the good lung has less weight to move when they breathe in? Yeah, maybe. just try to think of things to make it easier for your casualty to breathe, and you'll be doing a good job for them. C is for circulation. Check circulation at this stage of the algorithm. It's just an additional check to make sure that we haven't missed any of the major bleeding that will further impair their ability to recover. And the last and final thing is hypothermia and head trauma. We're not going to get too much into the head trauma. There's not a whole lot that you can do for that as a first responder, besides maybe stabilize their neck, but we'll get into that in a future video. But we're focused on hypothermia right now. And this one is last because hopefully by the time this becomes important, odds are good that the paramedics have arrived on the scene to take over. But if you're stuck in the backcountry of the Rocky Mountains and it's looking like help won't be getting to you for some time, then you're definitely going to need to be thinking about hypothermia. And casualties that have a serious wound are not able to regulate their temperature as effectively, and if the hypothermia sets in, it will further reduce their ability to transport oxygen around the body. And we'll get more into detail into that in the future, but for right now, just know that it's important to keep your casualty warm. So after you've taken care of everything else, you've taken care of the bleeding, you're making sure that they're breathing well, and everything else, just try to find a way to keep them warm. Move them into the sun or take them inside, start a fire, pile coats or blankets on them, or anything else that you can think of to keep them warm. So that's it, guys. That's all I've got for you today. If you found this helpful, please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to drop them down into a comment down below, and I'll do my best to get an answer to you. If you're looking for more information about the March algorithm, I will be going over this topic in more detail in a later video. But if you can't wait, feel free to head over to the mountainmanmedical.com website, where I have a video course that goes into this topic and all of the others in a lot more detail. And remember, keeping someone alive is all about managing their ability to get as much oxygen as you can. If you focus on that, then you can do a lot of good for someone who needs it. That's it, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.